Hello everyone. Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Morning. Morning. Morning.
Everybody's like half asleep. How many of you are sleepy right now? Quickly, like, do a raise of hands. Okay, so for this session, I want all of you with your videos on. Um, I will not entertain any videos off just because this is a highly practical workshop and I need you to do the groundwork so to make the most out of this session. I have tried to break down this session into the most easy stuff that you could possibly imagine, and I want you to be able to execute it. For all the College Smart students, there is a template that is already put in your Drive folder, and you can just search it by what name, Inayat? You're on mute.
It's like a copy of CS resume. You can search by that.
So all College Smart students, go to your Drive folders, look at copy of CS resume, and you will find it there. And I need you to practically do it side by side. So quickly open that up. All right. So let's get started. Hi everyone. We're here for a session by on crafting a compelling resume that lands you directly in top colleges. I've been delivering this session for the last so many years now, and I do feel confident delivering this session, particularly because when I was in college, I wanted to crack a job at Amazon, and I did anything and everything, right from doing my LinkedIn to building my resume, and I got it checked from I don't know how many people, and I realized that there are so many people with different opinions. But what I did was I chose the thoughts that made most sense to me and compiled them all together. It was such that no matter where I was applying, I was always getting the interview, which I feel was all because I had a resume that made a lot of sense and that was getting all the attention. So, with that, quickly for those who don't know me, I am Navya. And of course, you have met me at YFS as well. I am a graduate of Indiana University Bloomington, Kelley School of Business. It's a top 10 business school in the US. And I'm also an international certified career coach. And I've mentored more than 1,000 students to global universities. So these are just some of the universities our students have been admitted in the US, UK, Europe, Singapore, and so many others in Australia and Dubai. Essentially, we focus on career counseling for both undergrad and postgrad, college counseling, profile building, scholarships, and aptitude testing as well. What do I personally enjoy the most? Profile building and applications, because I feel that is when we're getting to know the student the most. So, getting to what we're here for, can you all quickly type in the chat box what are you refining or building your resume for? Hmm. Are you doing it for colleges? Are you doing it for applications, for an internship, for a leadership position, for a dream job? Okay, college. Perfect. So we're all clear that there is a common intent that we're here for. So for today's discussion, I'm going to keep the main focus as college only. Can anybody tell me what is the difference between a resume and a CV? What is the difference between a resume and a CV? Anybody? Give it a try.
My mostly CV is based on our marks, and resume is like the form co-curricular, extracurricular jobs that you have done, internships you have done. It involves everything.
Yeah, I would say like a CV is, like you're almost there. A CV would have almost everything put in there, but a resume is like a one page or a CV. When they say that means they're okay having more than one page. But whenever they're asking you for a resume, they want you to be very clear, to the point, and they want you to talk about all that is relevant. So that means, if let's say, I hope you're not doing that. But in case, let's say, in one situation you're applying for, let's say, a marketing internship, and at another place you're applying for a tech internship, if you had the option of delivering a CV, you could give the multi-page thing and talk about how you have previous exposure in marketing and tech. But if they're asking for if a marketing internship is asking for a marketing resume, you should make sure that the five activities, or the five, two, three, however many activities, experiences you have, should be related to marketing as much as possible, right? So that is how you need to make sure that you're making it very relevant. Okay, is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So let's talk resume. Even though, most people will, some people might say CV, some people might say resume. I would say what I personally do is I have created a master resume. That master resume, you could also call it my CV. It has everything that I've ever done until now, right from my high school to my college to my workplace right now. But what you should do now is you should probably just focus on resume for a college application. Personally, if you ask me, nobody ever goes through, 5 to 7 pages of work that you've done. To me, as an applicant, reader, I would rather say, tell me those five things that mean the most to you, and that would build a more impact for me versus like 100 things that you've done right now. Okay. At this point in time, while you are starting to build, even for this college fund students, I want you to build your entire resume. Even if it exceeds more than a page, do that for now. But when we are submitting college applications, I will make sure that we are reducing it to one page only. But right now, I want you to include anything and everything you can possibly imagine. Okay. So, a fun but scary fact is that recruiters on an average spend about 6 seconds only looking at a resume. And it is very easy to do that, just because the way you structure it plays a very important role, because I should be able to look at the important stuff you genuinely want me to read. Secondly, how clearly are your titles mentioned? How are those keywords being visible? If you've written like a lot of fluff, I'm losing the impact. So today I'm going to teach you all of those things that you need to look at to make sure that you're getting whoever's attention you genuinely want. Okay. So, before we start, I want you all to quickly start listing down. I need you to have a pen and a paper, or a notepad open, at least on your laptop. So quickly write down all the activities you've participated in. So for example, Young Founder Summit is something most of you have participated in. Write that down. It could be MUNs that you might have done. It could also be any debating competitions, anything like that. Quickly note down, and then also give me a thumbs up or write a done when you've completed it. Okay. Then I want you to write down all the leadership and honors that you've had. A leadership position, I would ideally say go to the very basic also. For example, you led a team in a group project, write that down. Maybe you're a part of the student council, note that down. You are the founder of, let's say, a club in your school, mention that. Any place where you've led, I want you to write that down. Post that. Any place where you've been involved in some sports, I need you to mention the different cups. Now, what all of you have done is, for example, um, excuse me for my words because I have no idea about sports, but for example, you've participated in a football cup, and if you might have participated in three or four, but you just write it as football, won 4 medals, whatever. But ideally, I want to see what will build the most impact is, हो सकता है in the first year you only participated as a member of the team but did not win anything. Let's say that was 2022. 2023, maybe you won a silver medal. Then 2024, maybe you became the team captain. So I want to see that progressive growth. So just write that down into years or different cups or, at different levels. Maybe you did inter-school, maybe you did state, maybe you did national, whatever it might be. Mention the different places where you participated in it and the impact it has had. Okay. Now, after that, I want you to write down any community service that you've done. Maybe you were a part of an NGO. Maybe you led something which had something. So, Kanan, since you've just joined, there's a Google Drive folder on your College Smart folder by the name copy of CS resume. Just open that up. And we're all taking down notes right now, but mention anything that you've done in your activities, leadership, sports involvement, community service.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now I want you to talk about any projects that you've led. So, for example, Ahan, for you, the project that we built on the gymwear. Abhishant, for you, it could be Exopan. Kanan, for you, it could be the finance Meta. What I'm forgetting the name, but yeah. So all of that, and anything that we're building as a part of our personal project, I want you to note that down. Okay. In terms of Olympiads, any Olympiad that you've participated in through school, internationally, nationally, state, mention your rank in it, mention the exact name of the Olympiad, the year it was mentioned, the year you participated in it. Okay,
Mom,
then any,
should I mention my book also? Like I'm
yes,
writing it.
yeah,
No chat GPT this time.
yes, mention it. Okay, then you mention about any competitions that you've participated in, any summer camp that you've done. And then lastly, if you've done any internship or you have any work experience, mention about that. Then there is one more thing that you can add. If there is any hobby that you have, maybe let's say you play the guitar, or maybe you've learned a language and you've given the test for that. Football can be, a hobby, can be anything. So whatever you have as a hobby, you can mention that as well, something that you've been working towards. Cool. Has everyone done it? Can I get a quick thumbs up if you've completed it? Perfect. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, let's move ahead. Now, this is what my resume looks like. I want you all to, oops, sorry. Okay, this is what my resume looks like. I want you to quickly have a look at it and tell me if there is anything that you can notice in particular, anything that stands out to you, anything. If you just have a quick glance at it, what are some things that you can clearly notice? Can you all just unmute yourself and just shout it out? Anybody? Come on, guys. It's morning for me as well, although it's not a break.
It has been divided into various sections, which makes it easier for the other person to understand, like, what are the expertise of the person sitting in front of me.
Absolutely. What else?
All the years that were mentioned are very prominent, so you could easily make out what year you did what in.
Absolutely. What else?
Main points are highlighted, bold.
Yeah. Can you all quickly, like, are you all able to see that there is a proper flow? in all of them. If let's say you wanted to read about or understand about any activity that I've done, you will have sufficient information. When you go to my details of any work experience, for example, let's take this for College Smart Young Founder Summit. I have written the word build strategic profiles for students who wish to apply to top universities across the globe, including India. I have not wasted my space using I build strategic profiles for students. I've eliminated words and all the fluff and just kept it to the point. Do you see that? No matter which point that you read, you will find that common. Let's say organize and develop leading competitions and events to engage students meaningfully to explore career interests. Guide students to build a budgeted plan for quality education by graduating early when required. So there is no like fluff, it is just kept to the point, right? Okay, let's move forward. So for all the students, all College Smart students, there's a sample template that has already been shared. It looks something like this. It is exactly the template that I have followed for my resume, and I've given just the same to you. What you need to do post that is you need to essentially just fill in your information. I'm going to walk you through everything. All that you need to do is you need to fill in your details, right? So if you go to your Google Drive folder, you will find a copy of CS resume template, and you need to just open that up right now and start filling in as we're walking through the session. Okay, I will be taking your resumes right after this. Perfect. Now let's come to the first section. The first section is this top section. Okay, I need you to very clearly mention what your name is, because it should never be ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए कि उनको ढूंढना पड़े कि अच्छा ये resume है किसका. Okay, so first and foremost, make sure that you're writing down your name very, very clearly. They should have a way they can reach to you, which is your phone number and an email address. Now, but for all students, I want you to mention your apps ID, because we're doing this for our college applications. So I want you to mention the application ID that you will be using for your college applications. That is point number one. Point number two, the second challenge that you can see over here is this used to be my number when I was in the US. Okay. But now when you're applying globally, it is very important that you are adding your country code. Okay, this screenshot is taken from a different resume that I had where I was recruiting. Um, at that time, I was only recruiting in the US, so it worked. But now, if you're applying overseas, you must mention your country code, which is +91 in this case. If it is an Indian number, if it is some other number, you just mention. For example, here I should have added +1. Okay, so that is absolutely important. Lastly, they should always have an address. Specifically, some universities send out physical offer letters as well. So it is important that you're mentioning over here, what country, your PIN code, your exact address. So quickly take 1 minute, do that, and quickly write down done when you've done it. For those who don't have the template, just use a plain blank document. You can just see these as references, and I will keep sharing them with you. It is not at all a difficult part to create it.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hmm.
मैम यहाँ पे grade 10th GPA पूछी है and मैम
I
as a
have
CBC
not gotten to that section. I just want you
अच्छा
to mention about the basic details. I am
program.
only talking about this section right now.
Okay.
I should have your name, your email address, phone number, and address. You will also see a space for your LinkedIn, right? So I want you to insert your LinkedIn link. How to do that? I'm quickly gonna show that to you. I want you all to look at my screen very carefully. We go on LinkedIn. Okay. When I go on my profile, me view profile, can you see over here public profile and URL? I would suggest don't do it from your phone because उसके अंदर mobile URL बहुत लंबा बन के आता है. Just go here. Okay. Actually, wait. You're on your profile. Just click on this. Copy it and then just paste it. Okay. So now if I had to paste it, I can easily paste it. Okay, over here. What I had done in my actual resume, that is my current resume, is that it is hyperlinked. You can see that I can just click on it and it will bring me to my LinkedIn. The easier you make it for anybody to visit your LinkedIn, the easier you make it for anybody to go to your, to email it to you, the easier you make it, the more happier they are when they're reaching out to you. If you want somebody to be annoyed, irritated, that is उतना ही difficult उनके लिए अपना process बना दो फिर, right? Okay, let's go back to this. Everybody's clear about how to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you all quickly type done if you've completed the basic details section? Perfect. Okay. Now we move to section 2, which is education and honors. In this section, now it will differ for all of you. If you are all ready, I have mentioned over here my college education, but you will mention, because all of you are in high school right now, applying for undergrad, you will have your grade 9th, grade 10th, grade 11th, grade 12th. Now, if whatever class you are in, you should mention that you're pursuing it. If you just see over here, यहाँ पे, for example, if you're in grade 11th, you must mention your grade 10, right? And let's say you've gotten 94%. तो percentage तो समझ में आता है कि कितने में से होता है 100 में से. But let's say if you get, let's say 9, in my time I had gotten a 9.8, so I had to mention 9.8 out of 10 CGPA so that it was clear. Then if let's say I'm in grade 11th right now, then उसके नीचे वाले bullet में I write grade 11 colon pursuing, so that they know when, you know, which grade I'm in. Your entire point of a resume is that it should not leave your the person reading it confused. I should have so much information that it brings me peace. I should know that okay, I'm making an informed choice. Okay, so for example, you're in grade 10th right now, तो आप लिखोगे grade 10th pursuing and you write grade 9 whatever score you have. Now you can write the latest wala pursuing ऊपर, previous score नीचे, or you can do vice versa. That is completely up to you. There is no like big, like you don't have to worry too much about it. Cool. So you mentioned that. Now, if you've, let's say, had two different schools, for example, grade 11th and 12th, you're pursuing from ABC school. So you will write ABC school. Latest always comes on the top. Latest always comes on the top. Then you go backwards. So let's say ABC school. You write Chandigarh, India. Grade 11 pursuing. Okay? Then you write XYZ school, Chandigarh, India. And then you write grade 10, whatever school you had. ओके, सो उस स्कूल का रेलेवेंस यू हैव टू गिव कि कौन से स्कूल से किया है, बिकॉज इट शुड नॉट बी कि यू हैव अज्यूम्ड कि अरे मैंने तो स्कूल चेंज किया था. इट शुड बी वेरी क्लियर टू द रीडर दैट विच स्कूल यू वर इन. ओके, क्विकली add your school. Now in this is more relevant to colleges, because you usually get scholarships there, but there are some schools that do offer scholarships as well. For example, some boarding schools, or if you have any dean's list, if you have any honors ki, I've consistently ranked in the top 5 of my school. For example, St. John's in Chandigarh gives you scholar badges. Some schools give you certificates. So all of that I want you to mention in terms of awards and honors and make it a bulleted list. That should be more academic related. It should be related to your education, nothing else. Okay, so quickly do that. For example, when I had received, being a direct admit to Kelly School of Business is offered to very few students. So I was given that, and I also mentioned why was I given that, because it was following a high level of high school achievement. Okay. Then I was also given a global engagement scholarship, a Fred and Della Spencer scholarship at Indiana University. Ideally, I should have even mentioned the amount that was given to me. Okay, so these are some ways that you can mention about it. Quickly mention, if you have any specific academic honors, any distinctions, any awards, anything that is academic.
Excuse me,
Mention that.
ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, what should I write in my GPA? Because I don't know my GPA.
Write your
What
percentage.
percentage?
Yeah. मैंने बताया ना GPA percentage same thing.
Okay.
Also, ma'am, what about IGCSE grades?
So mention your top 3 grades.
And for
Could you
IB, for
repeat what we have to write in the pursuing section?
In which section?
In the grade pursuing section, what do we have to write in that?
In the grade that you're pursuing, for example, you're in grade 11, just write grade 11, colon, pursuing. It should just be clear to
Okay.
me that I know कि तुम कौन सी class में. If you just give me grade 10th, I'll be confused कि अब तुम grade 11th में हो, 12th में हो, कहाँ पे हो,
Okay.
right?
for the IB for grade 10, we write it in out of 56, and then for grade 11, do I write my predicteds?
Yes, you give them out of कितना है, and you mention that. You
Okay,
mention IBM by P, so they automatically know.
sure.
Yeah. ठीक है? Quickly type done if you've completed it. Okay, one more thing. If you've done any Olympiads, add it in the honors and certification section. Because Olympiads are also academic only, I would suggest that you add it in this section only. So, Skanda, you should write International Math Olympiad, ranked 10 in school out of, let's say 200. So, I get a relevance and I get why that is an achievement as well.
Ma'am, how can I write like that I've been top of the class ever since exams have started in my school?
So you write, let's assume grade 1 onwards, consistently ranked top 3, yeah,
Yes,
first in school, first in class since grade 1, out of कितने students? अब अगर 5 ही बच्चे हैं, उनमें से तुम फर्स्ट आ रहे हो तो
नहीं
you
नहीं
know
बट मैं वो तो अब
what
बदलता
I'm
रहता है
trying
ना.
to tell you is कि like give me like a relevance कि like for example किसी ने बोला I rank, एक बच्चे ने ऐसे लिखा था कि I have consistently ranked in top 20% of my class, but class के अंदर है ही 20 बच्चे,
Yeah.
तो मतलब you give me some relevance ताकि I can build like a persona about you. ठीक है?
Okay, ma'am.
And this is a resume is a place for you to brag about. So do it as much as you can.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. But in a healthy way. Like I should not be able to smell cockiness. I should be able to smell like, a student who has genuinely worked hard for where they're building.
Okay.
Okay. If you've done this section, quickly type done.
Ma'am, for Olympiads, do we mention the ones which we have done grade 9 onwards ki sare?
Yes, grade 9 onwards. Ideally, for all of you that are now applying for colleges, you should mention grade 9 onwards. But in some cases, you could also mention, for example, अगर तुम grade 10th में हो, तो we might want to look into some other activities and we might want to apply. So I would say grade 8 का mention कर सकते हो. But if you're in grade 11th or 12th, grade 9 onwards only. Yeah, so even if you've received a scholarship and you're not availing it, mention it. I've just received a message. Even if you've received a scholarship but you haven't availed it, mention it. Okay. Should we move forward?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's say if you're still writing down your Olympiads, so just make those bullet points, right? Olympiad, 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 ताकि you remember and you can add it. Okay? Cool. Now let's move forward. There are few things that I want you to keep in mind. You will see a lot of resumes that have a photograph. Don't do it at all. You're gonna risk it. Why? Because you don't want anybody to have a bias about you, right? The way you look, the way you've dressed up, the type of photo that is there, the type of quality that comes up. That is one aspect. You don't want anybody to have a bias. Secondly, right now, a lot of organizations use ATS softwares. What that does is it automatically, like detects. So, for example, when I was recruiting, it was very clear that Deloitte only hires students who have a GPA of 3.6 and above. तो ऐसा एप्लीकेशन के टाइम पे कभी नहीं होता है कि अगर 3.2 वाला बच्चा नहीं अप्लाई कर सकता जॉब के लिए या कोई नहीं कर सकता. यू कैन अप्लाई, but Deloitte will just never reach out to you. It will always put you in the rejection pile. So, in case it shows like something like a photograph or something, it is automatically going to generate a question mark and it will put you in the rejection pile. Which is why I don't want you to go into that rejection pile. Hence, I'm telling you to eliminate bias and to avoid going in the rejection pile for no good reason. Don't add your photograph. The only case in which we can add a photograph is for a design student. But for a design student, I would say don't put it in your resume, put it in your portfolio. Okay? That is one thing. You must have your address so that they can always reach out to you. They can get some idea about where you are currently placed. And your relevant and latest education must always be there. For example, now at the time I am in, it makes no sense for me to have my high school education and high school records in the resume. But my college education definitely plays a role. Okay. Next, your name, email, phone number, and LinkedIn should be very clearly written over there. Make sure that there is no Gmail ka Gmail mat likh dena. Gmail.com ko make sure you're adding the last wala M. Sometimes you add an extra, you make it N or you just write .co. Make sure that everything over there is relevant and you are writing it very, very clearly. Okay, and lastly, your achievements and scholarships should be very clearly mentioned. Okay, now let's move to section 3, which is the most important section, and I want you to pay full attention for it. Okay, and I do have a special gift for everybody in this case that I'm going to share it with you. It's a very, very detailed list, but I want to share it with you. Do I have everybody's attention? Can I quickly get a yes from everybody on the
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
meeting?
please.
ma'am.
Awesome. Okay. When we're working on the third section, third section and fourth section can be easily replaced. Now, what might look like for me as, in my resume as I showed to you, let me quickly show it here. If you see, this is my resume, right? So if you see over here, I have written down professional experience and I've written down leadership and activities. Now, this resume was created when I had just gotten done with college. So, उस case में I did have professional experience, which is why it made sense to add that. But in your case, it is uncommon to find professional experience. So, should your heading be professional experience? Probably not. Can your experience be हो सकता है some of you have taken up a lot of leadership work. So सबसे पहले you can mention section 3 as leadership. You can mention section 4 as activities. Or somebody might have a lot of extracurricular activities. ये भी लिख सकते हो. Somebody could even name it as sports if you have a lot of sports. Whatever you have most amount of, I would say make it into 2 sections. जैसे कि एक हो गया leadership, एक हो गया sports, एक हो गया leadership हो गया extracurricular activities. Just mention it, give it a heading that based on what your profile looks like. Okay. Now, when we're writing the bullet points, सबसे पहले, like I want you to have this very, very clear in your head. Don't say, I have completed this, I ranked number 3, or, remove the fluff. We are just writing bullet points. Okay. Point number 2, I don't want you to add any full stops in the end because they are not full sentences. Make sure that you are eliminating the the full stops in the end. Okay. Next, I want you to add and give me numbers. For example, I have mentored, if I have to write about College Smart today, I write mentored 1,000+ students to leading global universities. Okay. I have removed I have also given you a number. So that, because let's say there is any other counselor who's applying to the same time as me at, let's say, any university, when they have to compare, एक ने सिर्फ लिखा है आई हैव mentored students, एक ने लिखा है I've mentored 1,000 students, I've mentored them to leading universities, I have given numbers and I've given results, and I've also given a very strong action word which tells them mentorship. Okay, we have to be very strategic with the words that we're using because there is very less space in our resume. So we want to make sure that we're giving the maximum impact. Is that clear? Can I get a yes from everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So now I'm giving you one idea. ठीक है, इसके अंदर let's change this to company name भी नहीं, let's just call it a competition. ठीक है, let's all work for Young Founder Summit. ठीक है, because that is a common line over here. तो जब आपने Young Founder Summit mention करना है in your resume, how would you mention it? Okay, let me just duplicate it and work with you on building it. ठीक है, so if you had to write it in your resume, आपने competition हटा के आप यहाँ लिखोगे Young Founder Summit. Okay, location क्या है? Chandigarh, India. Okay. When did you work on it? You're writing May 2026. Okay. Now, यहाँ पे if you were, let's say you won, okay, so you write first winning team. Then, or you might write most innovative idea, most impactful, second, third, whatever it is. Okay. Let's say you won 18 under 18. You write 18 under 18 Young Founder Award. Give me some relevance. Okay. Now let's say you didn't get anything. You just write participant. So give 1 second. Right over here, participant. Is this clear?
I just had one doubt. Like, if we won the 18 under 18 also, and like we were the winning team, so should we mention both or should we mention one thing?
Mention both. So then in that
Okay.
case, you mention first winning team and you add a semicolon and you write 18 under 18 Young Founder Award. ठीक है?
Okay.
Okay. जब हमारे पास ये आ गया है, then I want you to talk about what you actually did. Now, if we had to just sit together, if I had to write some notes, I'm going to ask you a few things. What all did you do at YFS? Can you tell me about that? You ideated, you pitched, you brainstormed, you innovated, you validated, and then you pitched in front of angel investors. You need to know everybody is talking about, हर किसी के स्कूल में at this point in time I can tell you एक Shark Tank competition हो रहा है. But in that Shark Tank competition, all of you are just pitching in front of a school teacher in most cases, right? So I want you to not forget this keyword, okay? Because this is what builds a big amount of change in the perspective with which they're looking at you, okay? Because बहुत बच्चों ने लिखा हुआ है उन्होंने entrepreneurship competition में participate किया है, but what will differentiate you is what you did over here. These 3 points is what will distinguish you, okay? Now, for example, Ayan, let me just take your case. ठीक है?
Yes, ma'am.
You say that delivered an elevator pitch and got selected in top 11 out of 135 plus ideas presented. Do you think it's true?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है? I'm just gonna write it here. Yeah. ठीक है, ये हो गया. Then you say कि built a team, brainstormed, innovated, and let's say, for example, if you were applying for marketing, I would say you should write in detail, conducted live market validation. Okay. Let's say
Okay.
you are going for accounting and finance. I would say you should mention conducted detailed cost unit economic analysis, including CVC, CAC, LCV, all of that.
Yes.
ठीक है ना? तो you should mention that, क्योंकि वो
Okay.
detailed चीज जो है ना, that is what will hit them. ठीक है?
Okay.
So built a team, brainstormed, innovated, actually ये मैं बताती हूँ, conducted live market validation
Unit economics.
and researched TAM, SAM,
And
ठीक है
so,
ना? आपने ये जो keywords ऐड कर दिए ना,
yes, ma'am.
कितने हाई स्कूल स्टूडेंट्स के अंदर ये कीवर्ड्स होंगे उनके रेज्यूमे में?
Like none of them, mostly.
Barely any, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is what will distinguish you. This will tell that you
Okay.
actually did the did the
Yes.
work, right? एक और चीज that you can do to improvise in the first line is, whatever your idea was, you need to bring it into a phrase. For example, delivered an elevator pitch on, and what was your idea?
Medico COE, ma'am.
इसको if you had to describe it in a line, what would you do?
Saving lives, uh, and delivering blood. Like we could write a
To
quote at least.
deliver blood using drones.
Yeah.
हम्म, ये ठीक है ना? Now delivered
Yes.
an elevator pitch to deliver blood using drones. Now it also tells me the type of ideas you're thinking about,
Yes.
right? Then last line जो है हमारी should always talk about the result.
Okay.
Okay. So then you mention awarded first winning team. Actually इसको awarded की जगह हमने pitch नहीं ना लिखा, pitched in front of investors, selected first winning team and awarded 18. अब तुम यहाँ ऊपर 18 under 18 पूरा लिख चुके हो, so even if you write 18 under 18 essay,
Yeah.
founder award for um, out of 130 students,
Yeah.
it just gives some relevance. तुम
Okay.
ये लिख सकते हो, or if you want to write, you can write for teamwork, leadership, creativity, basically all the factors that you see on our website for choosing 18
Yeah.
under 18. ठीक है?
Okay.
Did you all get it? हमने कैसे
Yes.
किया?
I
किसी को कोई डाउट? Give me a
No.
thumbs up if that's clear.
ma'am,
Excuse me,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, like Ayan's case is the best case out there. But
Yeah.
हम अगर बात करो मेरी एवरेज जो था, तो हम उसमें like my idea was selected in top 23. तो हम एक वो पॉइंट हो सकता है, राइट? एंड हम दूसरा हो सकता है कि फाइनेंस अगर मैं देख रहा था तो हम जो सेकंड पॉइंट आया इसमें, बट अब व्हाट अबाउट द थर्ड पॉइंट कि हम कुछ नहीं जीते एंड में आके हम तो
So which is fine, but उसके अंदर the winning is not the point, right? I'm gonna assume it as participant. ठीक है? And यहाँ पे if you take it from me, I would write it as delivered an elevator pitch to, what was your idea about that you had pitched, Karan?
डिजिटलाइजिंग एनिमल हस्बेंड्री ऑफ इंडिया.
To digitalize animal husbandry. आगे क्या बोला?
ऑफ
In
इंडिया.
India. Of India.
ऑफ
In
इंडिया.
India. Of India, and got selected in top 23 out of 135 plus ideas presented. ठीक है? Built a team, brainstormed, innovated, conducted live market validation and research, and अब तुम फाइनेंस के लिए क्योंकि अप्लाई कर रहे हो, I would write and conducted detailed unit economics, including break-even point, costing, CAC,
रेवेन्यू
LCV,
प्रेडिक्शंस.
revenue predictions, and more. ठीक है?
Yes.
Then you say pitched in front of investors and क्या कहते हैं इसको, even if let's say we don't write, we can say what would you say was your biggest learning? एक ये भी कर सकते हो, pitched in front of investors, learned strategic thinking.
Like he also took feedback from the investors. Like he could also like follow up on those points that the investors told him.
Absolutely. Learned, pitched in front of investors, learned strategic thinking, um, built, um, built an idea in 52 hours.
Hmm.
कनन बताओ,
Yes, ma'am.
समझ आते हैं?
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am, I got a question.
Yes.
So ma'am, let's just assume that I have done more than like many activities, internships, as well as co-founded an organization. Will
Mm.
everything fall on the work experience, or should I divide the work into, activities and then work
In
experience?
that case, I would say divide it as leadership and then the second section is extracurricular activities. So जो तुम्हारा project है 105 वाला, that will come in leadership, and some of the activities where you've led, that will come under leadership, and everything else comes under activities.
So, and
I
ma'am, so that's my startup that I'm doing that will fall under leadership. My
Yeah.
internships will fall under work experience,
You
and
can
all.
just call it extracurricular activities.
Okay, the internships will fall under extracurricular activities.
Yeah. I would say do that just because, my only intent is कि you can make it into 3 sections also. That is not a challenge. But उसके अंदर वो section खाली रहेगा. So there is no point and you will waste an entire line, 2 lines spacing के साथ if you give it a heading. So I would say eliminate that, just broadly लिखो.
कहाँ, like कैसे, like I just need an example.
Leadership,
Okay,
Exopan, any activity where you've led a team, all of that comes there.
okay,
Second point comes your extracurricular activities.
okay,
उसके अंदर अपना internship डाल दो. You can
okay.
name it extracurricular and co-curricular. उससे ये तुम्हारा co-curricular बन जाएगा internship.
So all my debates, workshops, every business summits that will fall under co-curricular, extracurricular. So one section will divide into two, if I'm right.
Yeah. एक बारी बनाओ, then once you've done it, then I can always help you rearrange it.
Got it.
ठीक है?
Ma'am, can you just like give me a small follow up on the earlier like PDF that you were explaining because I joined later.
So we will share a video
Okay,
recording with
okay.
you and you can do
Yeah.
that. ठीक है?
Okay.
Now, for all of you, if you look at the pointers that I just made in front of you very clearly, can you point out some things that are very evident over here?
Ma'am, like a top 11 out of 135 ideas.
You can see clear numbers.
Yeah, because 135 is a very big number.
Yeah,
And like after that, was selected as first winning team. Like Piston for front of angel investors is a like very big point.
yeah.
And like awarded for teamwork, leadership, creativity.
Mm,
And in the other one, we can see like the student is learning about so many business things like in the finance, CAC, LVC, and revenue
yeah,
predictions and unit economics. Because these days, like we see, the students are not even knowing about this in 11th also.
yeah.
So like that, and like pitched in front, same like learn strategic thinking, build an idea in more than build an idea in more than 52 hours. That's also a very like great line.
Right. Exactly. So now if you see over here, हर जगह पे we've mentioned the dates very clearly. This I'm sharing from, what I had done and मैंने कैसे लिखा हुआ था. My position is very clearly mentioned and मैंने उसको क्या किया हुआ था? I had made it in italics. Now if we go back, अगर मैं आपको previous slide में दिखाऊं, one second. If I just put over here, if I just इतना सा भी अगर मैं करूंगी, you will automatically be able to distinguish about what the difference really is. Can you see clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is how we work, right? And everywhere, if you see the first word, सिर्फ ये अगर आप मेरे पूरे resume का first word भी पढ़ोगे ना, you will get such a good idea about all that I've done. Responsible, demonstrated, managed, improved, coordinated, customized, analyzed, initiated, tested. Do you think this gives you a certain perspective about the type of person or individual I am?
Yes, ma'am.
What about others?
Yes.
So, your first word that we're talking about as the action word, You must have a very very strong word. अगर तुम यहाँ पे भी देखोगे, मैंने हर जगह पे delivered, built, pitched. These are three strong action words. And do you think these three action words clearly define what you did at YFS?
Yes, ma'am.
That is exactly what you're supposed to do. ठीक है ना? Everywhere जहाँ पे भी मैं numbers डाल सकती थी, I've put in numbers, right? यहाँ पे resulting in 90% participation, 50 plus students, average of 45%, average 15%, average 3 hours, database by 18%. I have added numbers wherever I could possibly add them, right? Now, we will not do this. I want you to quickly, write down. I'm giving you another example. Leadership and activities, maybe if you see clearly यहाँ पे that I had made a section out of, I have written identified, recruited, collaborated, developed, spearheaded, identified, created, performed. हर जगह पे I have added pointers. Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am. Like you have like specified them also, na? So like they'll be easily be understanding what you have done in the specific event or in your work.
Absolutely. What about others?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Got it.
perfect. Now, whenever you are writing, these are some questions you should think of. What position did you hold? What impact did you bring? What was the result? The most common thing that people forget to write is the result. Okay, this is common when you're doing interviews also, and this is common when you're doing writing in your resume as well. Your impact, your outcome must always be there. Okay, and what responsibilities did you have? Okay, make sure that you're always adding a strong action word. I am going to give you a list. This is the gift that I have for you. I have created a list with 843 action words. Okay. And I've divided it into different sections. For example, अगर आपने कोई analytical चीज करी है, let's say your internship was more analytical related, you can use any of these keywords. इनमें से कुछ ना कुछ होएगा ही. ठीक है? Let's say आपने कुछ communication related किया है. These are some keywords that you could use. Okay, then creativity related कुछ है तो created, designed, developed, directed, enhanced, established, fashioned, formulated, illustrated, initiated, innovated, all of these, like these are all words that you can use depending on the type of activity that you're talking about. Do you think this will be helpful?
Yes, ma'am. You've like provided us with a dictionary of our words that we need to mention. So it will be
Absolutely.
easy.
Who wants this? You
I
can
want
enter
this.
yes in the chat box.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
For example, my colleagues for leadership are way greater than these competitions or activities that I've done. So,
Mm.
should I first keep my leadership part and then write about my activities and competitions, or
Yeah.
vice versa?
Keep जो आपका main, whatever you want most amount of emphasis on, keep that on the top.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I also got a question.
Yes.
So I also have like certifications from different courses. So
Mm.
that will be in a different section, I believe. So right. So
So you can add over here, you would have seen, I had added it in there. I had done a 5-month profit explosion mastery in digital marketing. So I added that in my honors and certifications. Now, depending on what that looks like for you, you can add it. Maybe you can make it Olympiads and certifications. अगर आपके बहुत सारे हैं certifications, make it a different section. But
okay.
जैसे I only had 2, so I
Okay.
mentioned it within honors and certifications because space is very very limited. You want to maximize it to what will make most amount of sense for you. इसके अंदर there is no right or wrong. It can always be कि किसी के लिए Olympiads, like कोई Olympiad है ही नहीं तो there is no need for a different Olympiad का section. But if you have a lot of Olympiads, make it into a different section, but ideally put it under education itself. ठीक है ना?
Okay.
Yeah.
Ma'am, let's just assume I have a certification, like musical certifications. I have 2 musical certifications. Should I
Mhm.
include that or not? Like, is they are from very
Added
good.
it under extracurricular activities.
Okay.
Mm, yeah. Okay, now we come to our last section. What this does is, it is just gonna tell me something about you, right? Ideally, you should even put in how skilled you are. Okay, so for example, this is what my skills and interests section looked like when I was recruiting. I have added all the keywords that they were mentioning in their job description. ठीक है? I was strategic about it because I wanted to tell them जो आप ढूंढ रहे हो वो skill set मेरे पास है, right? Do you think if the recruiter can clearly see those keywords, will they ask you for an interview or no?
I think so. Like if we'll already be knowing whatever we are doing, so he will like I don't think so he will be asking for an interview.
They will ask for an interview. That is an important aspect of it, but at least it
Okay.
eliminates all the questions, right? कि
Yeah,
पता नहीं इसको
yeah. So
आता नहीं
like
आता है.
उनको already पता लग जाएगा कि like what we are capable of doing.
Exactly. So that is exactly how I want you to see कि you mention all your skills and interests, but make sure that they are relevant. Now, for example, I will tell you a fun fact that somebody told me. They said that my skills and interests section ही मैंने अपना पुराना डाला है, ठीक है? A lot of students add travel, a lot of students add bilingual, somebody might add photography, somebody might add dance. कुछ भी आप डाल सकते हो. Make it fun. Mine looked very like serious because I was in like serious recruiting zone. But like one of my mentors gave me a feedback. Can I remove one or two? And tell me something more. And at that time, I think Game of Thrones was like the thing that was happening. Everybody was watching Jesse new episode aata tha, and I had zero interest in it. Judge me or whatever. But I had zero interest in watching Game of Thrones. And I have till date never watched Game of Thrones. So when I was talking, my recruiter said, add that. Add that you've never seen Game of Thrones. And you will be surprised. My interview at Amazon, my interviewer said, even I have never seen Game of Thrones. Like, aren't people crazy going after it? And we bonded over it. Now, for examples, there might be somebody, let's say, उल्टा भी पढ़ सकता था रिक्रूटर ने क्या पता गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स देखा होता नाउ आई डोंट हैव टू गो एंड डिस गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स इन फ्रंट ऑफ देम बट आई कैन इट they will find it very interesting. They will try to convince me, but at least we started off our conversation at a very like there was a conversation starter essentially. Otherwise kya hota? Okay, tell me about yourself. Okay, do this. You stood out by mentioning never watched Game of Thrones. you know could be anything. For example, my today's resume mentions skydiving. I've done skydiving and I feel like that experience was a big highlight for me. I've mentioned that because if anybody looks at it, they will always be like, oh my god, I'm always so scared of doing skydiving. I might just start to be like, you should, this is what it feels like. And you've just broken the ice. Or it could also be like, oh my God, I've done skydiving. Where did you do it? Oh my God, the view from the top, XYZ. It can be very different, right? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yes,
Yeah,
like you can also begin a conversation with the other person also.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying ki, you have to make it very deep. I'm not saying कि आप सिर्फ इसी से भर दो. Just one thing like this that you feel can be a good conversation starter. I would say add 2 to 3 things that are technical and add a hobby. No, the most common ones are travel. Now, in that case, I would say mention, for example, I have traveled to 13 countries. So I will write 13 countries travel. दिस गिव्स मी सम पर्सपेक्टिव. एटलीस्ट जो एक हर दूसरे बच्चे ने ट्रैवल लिखा हुआ है उससे कुछ तुम्हें डिफरेंट हुई ना. एटलीस्ट आई एम गिविंग सम पर्सपेक्टिव.
Yeah, like you also mentioning the number once again.
या ठीक है. डज दैट मेक सेंस?
Yeah.
एवरीबॉडी इज क्लियर?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Sounds good. So ये तो I think this is just what I was applying for, but right. So what we are recapping is the most essential, well aligned. I want to show you one more thing on my resume over here. Um, can you see my resume?
Yes.
Can you see my resume?
Yes.
When you look at it, can you spot something very clearly? Do you see that my resume, there are मतलब ऐसे है, एक प्रॉपर स्ट्रक्चर है। कहीं पे भी ऐसा नहीं है कि मेरा बुलेट पॉइंट लाइक यहाँ से आगे स्टार्ट हो रहा हो, या मेरा कहीं पे कुछ और हो रहा हो। डू यू सी दैट?
Yes,
all
ma'am.
of
Yes,
my
ma'am.
all of my dates are right aligned। कहीं पे भी ऐसा नहीं है कि मेरी डेट इधर है। For everything that I've done, even if it was virtual, I have mentioned the location where it was, right? And for everything, there is a section where you can refer to. If you want to learn about how I've led, come see here. If you want to see about my education, see here. You want to see my work ex, you see here. Can you see that?
Yes,
Skills
ma'am.
and interests के अंदर I have added that. ठीक है? Okay. Now, beyond this, so your thing has to be very, very well aligned. Then you should have very crisp, clear, strong action words. I'm gonna send you, and I will send all the, resume, like the list of action words, the 843 words. Use those, and you just have to refer to them and just write what you've done. Okay? Make sure that you're adding results. Pick out buzzwords from that job or the industry or whatever you're working on। For example, let's say Columbia, we know is a very research driven industry, university, sorry. So we make sure that आप एक, research oriented वाला word add कर दो। Avoid misspelling. That is the worst thing you can add. It annoys you just because it is a professional document. If it is done unprofessionally, it will always annoy the other person. And check it multiple times from different people. Ideally, I would say check it from people जो already जिनको पता है। अब now that you've understood कि कैसे एक college के पास जाते हैं, I would say show it to me। I don't want you to show it to different other people just because it can create a lot of confusion। जो मैंने तुम्हें tips दिए हैं is compiled through lot of people together, and I've given you only the most relevant ones, right? We don't have to confuse ourselves। Yeah, and this is what we're giving. This is what a CV looks like। I don't suggest it। If you can see, कहीं ना कहीं से तो ये reject हो ही जाएगा। And यहाँ पे ऐसे
Yeah.
डाले हुए हैं। It's and if you go on Canva, Canva आपको ना ऐसे दिखाएगा। I don't want you to use any of those formats। There you should never have कि मैंने beige background कर दिया है। Plain white Word document।
So, ma'am, should we use Word? Yeah.
Yeah, use Word, use Google
Okay.
Docs, all of that। ठीक है? Um, so yeah, I'm happy to give you feedback. And for all other College Smart students, I need your resume to be completed today so I can offer you feedback on it and we finalize your resume within this week. For all others, I'm happy to review it for you. Whenever you do share it with me, you can email it to Inayat and she'll get it reviewed by me and we'll offer you feedback। Inayat is just gonna send you, just typing down Inayat's email ID on the chat box. You can note this down and send it over there. We will review it, but make sure you're sending it you give us some context to you as well, because if we don't know you, it's very difficult to offer that feedback as well. Yes, Ananya.
And I wanted to ask that on the YFS group, you day before yesterday, you sent the things like to join the team. So I
Yeah.
wanted to ask, the link was not opening because I
So
wanted to
reach
ask.
out to Inayat or Priyanka, they'll guide
Yeah,
you.
like the link was not opening for the team also, ma'am, and for the like the next year's registrations.
Okay, so
And the scholar code was also not like working.
So guys, you can just like drop a message to us on WhatsApp. We'll just
Okay,
guide you
okay.
from there on.
Yeah.
and this the previous code that was offered has been discontinued because that was only for the day of IFS. But let's keep our questions only to resume building right now.
Yeah.
Everything else you can drop a message to Inayat or Priyanka and they will support you with it. Yes. What else?
Ma'am, I just wanted to ask that if I don't have like a LinkedIn profile or any app that I can like refer to in my resume, should I just leave it blank?
Leave it blank for now, but we do have a LinkedIn workshop this month end, I think. So let's work on that during that
Uh,
time.
Okay,
ma'am,
ma'am.
ma'am, one
Mhm.
more thing. Like, I
Mhm.
am the basketball team vice captain,
Yeah.
but the thing is, because of my injury, I cannot play any more sports and
Mm.
be in the team. So, can I mention my past achievements
Yeah,
and that
100%.
I was the captain?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, ma'am.
So, Kanan, you would have built up to the position of a vice captain through by first पहले member हो गए, then कुछ और किया होगा, then vice captain बने होगे, right?
Actually, तो मैम मैं I just tried out for the team and मैम मेरे को वाइस कैप्टन बना दिया बिकॉज मैम बाकी टीम बहुत गंदी है तो इसीलिए but we
तो
won
मैं
we
क्या
won a couple
करूँगी?
of tournaments we won a couple of tournaments
ठीक है, तो बस उसको लिख दो vice captain.
yes ma'am
But in some cases, for example, assuming, let's say YFS में आपने, this is your second year, Piyush, let's take your example. हो सकता है कि, आपने पहले कुछ नहीं जीता हो, next time you won something, या उल्टा भी हो सकता है. But, whatever it is, you can mention, how it was selected. And Kanan, जो YFS का हमने तुम्हारा mention किया था, you can even instead of writing participant, you can write top 23 ideator.
okay ma'am
You can mention even that.
okay ma'am
Cool.
yes ma'am
What other questions do we have?
Nothing.
Okay, let's revise it. Everybody, work on your resume today because things will be fresh. You will remember it and you will be able to quickly implement on it. For all students beyond College Smart students, if you need any support, reach out to Inayat. We will offer you feedback on it. We can do it maximum twice. So make sure कि तुम पूरा करके then you're giving it to us. For all College Smart students, on your Drive folder, there is a file named copy of CS resume. Make sure you're opening that and making all the changes within it. I need your resume today, latest, because if that is not done, there's a message that goes out in your group automatically. And I want to make sure that a resume is being finalized today itself. Okay. And this applies to everybody on the call here. Can I get a thumbs up?
I have a question.
Yes.
How long should the resume be? So for today's submission, so
For
how
today's submission, it can be more than one page. That I'm completely okay with. But when we are submitting it for our college applications, we will try to compile it to just one, page.
so do we have any specific font requirements such like Times New Roman 11
So if you see the template, you'll see the format, the font, all of that there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, I got a good thumbs up from Manat and Arav. What about all others? Ahan, yes. Yashvi, yes. Kanan, yes. Perfect. Piyush, yes. Jahan, yes. Arav, yes. Good. Ashvi, what about you, Myra? Awesome. That is exactly what I'm looking for. Perfect. And will the recording be shared afterwards? Yes, we will share it with you. If you need anything, Anayat, please just take it and note. Let us know if there's anything else that we can support you with. So thank you, everyone. How was the session? Do you think it
great
was helpful? Did you
Quite
learn?
yes ma'am
interesting and helpful, ma'am.
Yeah. Awesome. Perfect. It was lovely to have you all. If there's anything else that I can support you with, please reach out to me or my team, and I look forward to reading your resumes. Bye.
thank you
Bye,
ma'am
ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank
Thank you.
you.